So this is a quick video with a few top tips about going out. So first thing, in terms of getting the chair ready, you've got Beth in the chair, you've got her nice and comfortable. Make sure if you're going out that you always take with you the sun's shield, which is now going to be stored down here at the side of the craft cupboard. I'm going to pull it out. So it's got the smooth rounded bit at the front, and at the back it's got a zipped section. So it goes on and attaches to the chair using those two prongs on either side. You don't have to stick the prongs down really hard, they just need to be secured in. If you push them down too hard, you'll struggle to get them out. You can also zip onto the back of this. If you're going out and there's a risk of rain, there is a rain cover which we'll leave in as well, which zips on. It unwraps and goes over. You'd open the hood up and it goes over like a children's buggy and does underneath the footplate. It is a pain to be able to take off again, and you're best when you come back to lay it in the bathroom or hang it up in the bathroom to dry. So be sure that you want to get it out, because it's a real pain to get back in again if you change your mind. So this is useful for keeping off rain, but for keeping the sun out of Beth's eyes as well. It's set at a pretty good position at the moment, but you might want to lean it back sometimes, but it doesn't always stay. So that's the first thing about going out. Make sure you've got that with you. Obviously, in terms of packing as well, you're going to have, the chair's currently plugged in, but you will have obviously the suction machine that will be on the chair, and you will also have the emergency bag that you've checked and made sure that everything is there. And you will also have done a check of the oxygen to make sure that you've got enough in the cylinder by checking the bottom here. We would run this until at least onto the red, so you don't need to change it until then. If Beth has been using lots of oxygen and it's onto the red, then I would change it before you go out, and they are stored around the back near the bike shed. So you've topped up, made sure, check your emergency bag. The other thing is, if Beth's going out and it's the sunny time of year, which it is at the moment, as well as having the screen on, you need to make sure you put Factor 30 sun cream on. Just lift up the arms of a t-shirt to make sure it gets everywhere, take a splint off, do it all the way around so you don't miss anything, and particularly on her face, and making sure the sides of her cheeks are done so that this cheek, particularly that faces up, stays nice and protected. The other thing that you will want to do is likely put a motor on. We're in the process of looking at motors, so there is a separate video about how to attach a motor. At the moment you've got a handlebar here, but that may change. Attach the motor if you need it. The main thing about going out and about, I would say, I'm just going to turn this round this way. The main thing about going out and about is watching Beth's position in the chair. So at the moment this chair is sat up relatively upright. So if you are pushing the wheelchair, use this handle here, this release. If I squeeze that, it can lift and lower the chair. So when you're pushing Beth, you need to make sure that she's sat back so that she can keep her head nice and stable. If you're going downhill, sometimes you want to lie back a little bit more so that she's not kind of rolling forward. If she's going uphill, you might want to sit her up a little bit. Depends on the angle of things and how bumpy the path is as well. So if it's a very bumpy path, you'd want to lay back a bit. If you're going over like door edges and things like that, you'll also want to lie the chair back a bit so that you don't go over a door edge and it makes a kind of bump and then Beth moves quite quickly. So if she gives a kind of quick move with her head, she's likely to lose head control. The other thing when you're going out and about is if Beth's throwing her arms around, you just need to watch on doors and on lampposts and things, that she bus shelters, she doesn't catch her arms. So every so often pick her arms back up and put them in the chair so that she's not going to catch those, and keep an eye on it as you go. The other thing is, if you have got the motor attached, whichever motor it is, just be aware of the speed, because normally the speed is, you can vary the speed. So this one's currently has got a tortoise and a hare picture. When you've got a motor on, you're not pushing the chair anymore, you're steering the chair. So you use the squeeze of the motor to then steer the chair. So set this at a pace that you can walk comfortably, so it's not running away and you've got maximum control. So just as if you drive a car, you need to make sure you're slow to go around corners, you might need to do things like that and change the speed. And the final thing to say about going out and about is try and look for the drop curbs. So the front wheels particularly, if they hit something hard, they can actually bend and you could end up totally taking off the front wheels. So you need to make sure that you go for drop curbs, they're smooth. You might need to slow down to kind of go over them. You might also need to lean back in the chair to go over them. If you can't find, if you're on a path and you can't find a drop curb to get down, you probably want to go off the curb backwards. So you need to kind of reverse off the curb to be able to get down, because if you go down with the front ones, then you'll lunge Beth forward and that's not comfortable. If you do end up needing to go backwards and there's a bit of a gap down, these pedals here, so this one is your brake. So if I use my hands a second. So this first inside one is your brake. So pulling it up is on, pushing it down is off. And then these ones are called your rockers. And they are there to stop the chair falling backwards. So if the chair gets knocked or Beth lies back in, there's a lot of pressure on it, it can't go past these stoppers. So it goes a long way back, but it can't go past the stoppers. Now, if you're trying to get down backwards off a curb because you've got a big gap or a step, you might need to take those off, otherwise you'll get stuck. And the way you do that is push your foot on it, push down, and it releases it, and push it in. That's absolutely fine for going off the curb. As soon as you've done that, you do need to put them back on, because the chair is not safe, or not as safe, if you haven't got that on. So those are a few top tips about going out about and how to make sure that you can push Beth and the wheelchair around.